Imagine you are driving a high-performance vehicle. You've got the map, the fuel is topped off, and the road ahead is clear. You press the accelerator, feeling the engine surge, but the car barely moves. It groans, it smokes, and it strains. You realize with a sinking feeling that while your right foot is floored on the gas, your left foot is slammed on the brake. In the world of transformation, specifically when we talk about reclaiming your health and your body, this is the phenomenon of self-sabotage. Most people characterize self-sabotage as a moral failing. They call it a lack of discipline, a weak will, or a character flaw. We've been conditioned to believe that if we eat the cake we promised we wouldn't, or if we skip the workout we scheduled, it's because we are fundamentally broken or lazy. But today we are going to dismantle that lie. We are going to look at the cold, hard biology of why you do what you do. Because the truth is far more fascinating. Self-sabotage is not a flaw. It is a highly sophisticated, albeit outdated, survival habit. It is your brain's way of keeping you safe within the known, even if the known is killing you. By the end of this deep dive, you won't just understand why you trip yourself up at the finish line. You will have the neurological fix to release the brake and finally let your body move forward. The Homeostasis Trap. Why your brain hates change. To understand self-sabotage, we have to understand the concept of biological homeostasis. Your brain's primary directive is not your happiness, your fitness, or your confidence. Its primary directive is your survival. And to the primitive parts of your brain, the basal ganglia and the amygdala, survival equals predictability. If you have been overweight or stuck in a cycle of high stress for years, your brain has categorized that state as safe. It's familiar. It knows how to survive in that body. It has calculated exactly how many calories it needs to maintain that size and how much cortisol it needs to pump through your veins to keep you alert in that environment. The moment you start to change, the moment you begin a new protocol or start shedding pounds, an alarm goes off in the subconscious. The brain perceives change as a threat to the status quo. It doesn't care that the change is good for you in the long run. It only knows that the environment is shifting, and in the wild, a shifting environment usually means danger. To pull you back into the safety zone, it triggers thoughts of cravings, sudden fatigue, or a localized logic that tells you one missed day won't matter. This is not a glitch in your personality. It is a fundamental survival mechanism. You are experiencing a homeostatic reset. Self-sabotage is simply the tool your brain uses to maintain the status quo. The architecture of the basal ganglia. Deep within the brain lies the basal ganglia, a group of subcortical nuclei responsible for motor control and, more importantly, habit formation. This is the part of your brain that handles everything you do on autopilot. When you drive to work and realize you don't remember the last 5 miles, that's your basal ganglia at work. When you have spent years using food as the emotional regulator, that pathway is physically carved into your neural tissue. It is a superhighway of information. When you decide to change your diet, you are trying to build a brand new dirt road through a thick forest, while the superhighway is right there, open and inviting. The sabotage occurs when the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for your goals and logic, gets tired. Willpower is an exhaustible resource. Once that prefrontal battery drains, the basal ganglia takes over. It reverts to the strongest, most established pathway. This is why most sabotage happens at night, or after a long day at work, or during a moment of high stress. It isn't that you stopped caring, it's that your brain's autopilot regained control because the manual pilot ran out of fuel. The anatomy of the sabotage loop. When we look at the neurobiology of a habit, we see a loop. Trigger, action, reward. Self-sabotage usually hides in the action phase, but it begins in the trigger phase. often through what is known as cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance occurs when your behavior doesn't match your identity. If your internal identity, the software you've been running for a decade, is, I am someone who struggles with weight, but your behavior is, I am eating clean and feeling energized. Your brain feels an intense discomfort. It needs to resolve the tension between who you think you are and what you are doing. Usually, it's easier to change the behavior than it is to change the identity. So you sabotage. You eat the junk food to return to the identity of the person who struggles. The tension is gone. You feel a strange sense of relief in your failure because you have returned to a truth you've known for years. This is why traditional dieting fails nearly 95% of the time. It focuses entirely on the plate, while the ghost in the machine, your subconscious identity, is still running the old version of the software. The somatic reality of the inner critic. We often hear a voice in our heads when we sabotage. It's the voice that says, you've already ruined the day, might as well eat for the rest of it, or you'll never be able to keep this up anyway. In psychology, this is known as the internalized critic, but in somatic terms, it's actually a localized tension in the nervous system trying to find a verbal outlet. When your nervous system enters a state of fight or flight, sympathetic activation, the brain seeks a narrative to explain why it feels so uncomfortable. Instead of fighting this voice, we need to realize it's a symptom of a nervous system that is overwhelmed. When you push your body too hard, too fast, you trigger a cortisol spike. As we've discussed, elevated cortisol acts as a signal to store and protect. When the nervous system feels under attack by a restrictive diet or an intense new life change, it searches for a way to ground itself. Sugar and processed fats are the fastest ways to spike dopamine and temporarily soothe a frayed nervous system. In this light, your binge isn't a sign of weakness. It's an attempt at self-medication. Your body is trying to fix a perceived danger, the stress of change, with the only tool it has, a chemical reward. The fix. Step 1, the neural pattern interrupt. If self-sabotage is a habit, the fix is a pattern interrupt. Most people try to fight sabotage with willpower, but willpower is a finite resource, managed by the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that shuts down the moment you are tired, hungry, or stressed. To stop the sabotage loop, you don't need more willpower. You need a somatic detour. The next time you feel the urge to break your protocol, stop. Don't try to talk yourself out of it. Instead, notice where that urge lives in your body. Is it a tightness in your chest? A hollowness in your stomach? A restlessness in your hands? By shifting from thinking about the craving to feeling the sensation, you move the processing of that urge from the emotional amygdala to the observant insular cortex. This simple shift in neural real estate can dampen the intensity of the urge by up to 50% in less than 60 seconds. You are essentially taking the wheel back from the basal ganglia and giving it to your conscious observer. The fix. Step 2, lowering the biological alarm. You cannot think your way out of a biological habit if your biology is in a state of high alert. This is where most protocols fail. They focus so much on the rules that they ignore the regulators. If you want to end the habit of self-sabotage, you have to convince your nervous system that it is safe to change. This requires a two-pronged approach: nervous system regulation and biochemical support. When your body has the right micronutrients and the right hormonal balance, the alarm in your brain stays quiet. It becomes significantly easier to maintain new habits because you aren't fighting a constant state of internal famine or stress. This is exactly why we emphasize the use of specific targeted biological supports. In fact, many of the hurdles people attribute to sabotage are actually just nutrient deficiencies, triggering emergency hunger signals. When your magnesium is low, your brain doesn't scream, "I need magnesium." It screams, "I need chocolate." When your B vitamins are depleted, you don't feel a need for leafy greens. You feel a crushing fatigue that only a sugary latte can fix. To address this on a practical level, we've detailed 25 specific natural supports that help stabilize these internal signals. This technical manual, the 25 Natural Remedies Guide, is designed to give your body the chemical quiet it needs so your mind can actually stay in control. It provides the somatic and nutritional protocols to lower that internal alarm, making the habit of sabotage much harder to trigger. You can find that guide linked in the description below. Consider it your biological backup for the work we're doing here. If the brain is the hardware, these remedies are the cooling system that prevents it from overheating and reverting to old code. The fix, step 3, identity shifting and neural priming. The final fix for the sabotage habit is to address the identity. You must begin to describe your actions not as trying a new diet, but as returning to my natural state. When you say you are on a diet, you are implying that you are a person who should be eating junk, but you are forcing yourself to eat well. This creates the dissonance we talked about earlier. It sets the stage for sabotage because your brain is waiting for the diet to end so you can go back to being yourself. Instead, reframe it. When you choose a healthy meal, tell yourself, "I am feeding my high-performance biology." When you choose to rest, tell yourself, "I am regulating my HPA axis." Use the science we've discussed to give your actions a new label. Labels change the way the brain categorizes the activity. By using high-authority biological language, you bypass the shame cycle and move into a state of neural sovereignty. You are no longer someone who is restricting. You are someone who is optimizing. The brain doesn't sabotage optimization the way it sabotages restriction. The failure fallacy, data over drama. One of the biggest drivers of the sabotage habit is the all-or-nothing mindset. This is a cognitive distortion where we view a single slip-up as a total system failure. In engineering, a single glitch in a line of code doesn't mean the computer is broken. It means the code needs a minor adjustment. If you view your journey through a biological lens, there is no such thing as failure. There is only data. If you ate something off protocol, don't ask, "What's wrong with me?" Ask, "What was my cortisol level? Did I sleep enough? What was the trigger?" Data point, your cortisol was likely high and your body sought a dopamine hit. Data point, your recovery was likely insufficient, leading to a drop in blood sugar. When you treat your behavior as data rather than a moral judgment, the internal critic loses its power. And without the critic, there is no shame. Without shame, there is no need to medicate with more sabotage. This is the difference between an emotional reaction and an engineering solution. The 1% rule of somatic change. To ensure the habit of self-sabotage doesn't trigger, we must respect the threshold of change. If you try to change 100% of your life in one day, your brain will scream, "Danger," and shut the whole project down by Tuesday. This is the New Year's resolution effect. The fix is to make the change so small that the data collector in your brain doesn't even notice it's happening. We call this the stealth approach. Instead of a total life overhaul, you focus on one neural repatterning skill. Instead of never eating sugar again, you focus on stabilizing your blood sugar in the morning. By moving under the radar of your brain's alarm system, you can rack up weeks of consistency without ever triggering the homeostatic break. You are slowly widening your window of tolerance until your new healthy habits become the new safe zone. The vicious cycle of sleep deprivation. one often overlooked driver of self-sabotage is the biological state of sleep deprivation. When you are underslept, your amygdala becomes 60% more reactive to negative stimuli, and your prefrontal cortex, the part that helps you make good decisions, essentially goes offline. When you are tired, you aren't just sleepy. You are neurologically vulnerable. This is when self-sabotage strikes with the most force. The brain seeks the fastest, most concentrated source of glucose to fuel a struggling system. If you find yourself sabotaging consistently, the fix might not be a better meal plan, but a stricter sleep protocol. By giving the brain the rest it needs to re-index the day's information, you strengthen the prefrontal cortex and make sabotage a much harder habit to trigger the following day. The power of implementation intentions. Psychologists have discovered a tool called implementation intentions that can bypass the basal ganglia's autopilot. It follows a simple if-then structure. Before you enter a high-stress situation where you usually sabotage, you create the code. If I feel the urge to eat out of boredom at 3 p.m., then I will drink 16 ounces of water and perform a 60-second somatic check-in. By pre-deciding the action, you remove the need for willpower in the moment. You have already written the patch for the software. When the trigger happens, the if-then command executes automatically. This turns your self-sabotage habit into a self-correction habit. Closing the loop. Self-sabotage is not your enemy. It is a confused protector. It is a part of you that is terrified of the unknown and is doing its best to keep you in the safe zone of your past. But you are no longer at the mercy of your primitive brain. By understanding the homeostatic trap, using pattern interrupts, and providing your body with the biochemical support found in resources like the 25 Natural Remedies Guide, you can rewire the habit. You are not flawed. You are not weak. You are a biological system in transition. Release the brake. Stop fighting the ghost in the machine and start directing the hardware. Be on the lookout for the next video. Until then, remember, your biology is the map, but your awareness is the driver. Be sure to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe or follow, and I'll see you in the next one.